Hello, everybody. I don't know if you can hear me. Give me 1 second. Okay, so this is a little strange. Welcome, new people and old people. Um, hey, Taylor. So I'm going to be kind of looking at the chat as we go. This is a test, and so I want as many people as possible to be a part of the test. I'm going to send out one more message saying that we are live, and then we'll go ahead and go. I have increased so there's a lag with YouTube and live streaming, but I've increased all of the question length so that they're 60 seconds, which will give enough time for them to actually register in Kahoot and then for it to pop up on your screen and then for you to answer. So in a second, we'll start it. I'll hit play, and then you guys, of course, will do what you're used to doing, which is you're going to enter in your the Kahoot code. So you need two things. Hopefully you're watching on a computer so that you could be playing on your phone. What's not going to work is for you to be able to watch the video on your phone and to also be playing on your phone. So you do need two devices. So if you don't have two devices, you're just on your phone, then you can just watch. You don't actually have to play along. Otherwise, you need to have your computer out so that you can watch the video, and then your phone so that you can play. Or you can, Sarah just said you could play on your Chromebook, so maybe you can have two windows open, where in one window you have the video, and in another window you have the game. So hopefully that will work. It's so good to see everybody, Taylor and Ellie and Rain. I'm guessing Rain, you're Payne Phillips. Olivia, Kate, Kushu had to leave because she was evacuated. So again, I'm going to send one more message because it's just now 1 o'clock. Inviting everybody if they want to join, saying that we're live, and then we will begin the Kahoot. If you don't remember anything about our horror conversations, just remember that there were cycles for each decade and that the culture, of course, defined the fear. So give me 1 second while I send this remind out to everyone. The more people, the better, because of this being a test. Also, it's just good to know that you guys are here. You know me, I like people and I like feeling connected, and I get sad that I don't get to see my students. So the ones that I don't get to see because you've graduated or you've moved on, I miss you and I love you. And the ones that I don't get to see because of this situation, I miss you and I love you too. Sorry, I'm very excited. You should know that. All right, so Kahoot is live. Come play now. And then the link. We'll see if we get a couple of more people to play. Hey, Colby. I like the sunglasses. You know, since you've been gone, no one has confused me for you. So that's kind of sad. You also may hear my children in the background, or my wife. She's making lunch because she's awesome. And my kids are watching The Cat in the Hat in the back. So they may interfere. And we also won't have music with this, so you'll have to, in your head, imagine your own Kahoot music. Hey, Dylan. All right, so we've got a few more people. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and pull up the screen so that you guys can join. Yes, I no longer have a twin. So this is the code 8586581. Just join with your... join with you. There's no music is a deal breaker. I wonder if, can you guys hear the music now? Does this work? I just didn't want there to be any feedback, but we'll see. So go ahead and enter with your name. Cool. So we hear some music. It is a bop, Taylor. Good to see. We got some students from this year too. Oh, Jillian's here. That's awesome. The code. I'll type the code here. The code is 858658 I believe that's right. 858658 There's the code. I've just posted the code in the comments. You should be able to... You guys are not able to see the code. Let me check something real quick. I'm going to have to edit something here. Let's see if it works. There we go. Now you should be able to see the Kahoot code. It's like a giant reunion here. Did that help? Can you guys see the code if you full screen the video? Thanks, Kate. All right, so I know there's a bit of a lag. Oh, good. We got people playing together. Teresa and Anna always playing together. Hey, Lily. Ryan, did you get the code? Presley and Apollo. Hey, guys. Good to see you. I mean, I'm not seeing you. This is the sad part. I don't get to see any of your faces. But my heart is full because you're all here. Donovan. All right, so I'll kind of do like a quick 2-minute check and then we'll see what happens. So is there anybody that's still logging in or anybody having a problem? Uh-oh, Ellie. Tensions are rising. Everyone okay? We got 36 people in here. I like that someone is just the code. Brendan, I miss you, buddy. You guys are hilarious. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start the game. If at any time, let me type the code one more time. And if any time you guys get logged out, just rejoin. Again, this is a test. So the winner, I will give a poster to. Like the winner will receive a poster. That's, always the case. But just in case you get logged out or whatever, try to log back in because we've never done this before. So I just want as many people to be able to play as possible. And we're trying to fix this so that we can have more live streaming events like this so that class can continue since, we're going to be away from each other forever. So, oh, Chris, you and your hoodies. So here we go. I'm going to start the game. If you're not in yet, just keep joining. And if you get kicked out, join back. And take your time. You're on your phone or on your computer. You're probably going to see the options before you see the question. So I'm going to read the question in real time, and then you will see the question, and then just wait, and then you can play. All right? I see you, Matt and Gracie. I see everybody. All right, here we go. So I'm going to start the game here. And we'll see how this goes. All right, the first question is, name the first horror film. Was it The Haunted Mansion, The Haunted House, The Haunted School, or The Haunted Castle? Okay, so the Haunted Mansion is a ride at Disney World, but the Haunted Castle was the first film. Awesome. All right, next question. Let's see who's in the lead. Allison, awesome. Jada, Carter, Jax, and I'm Lass. Anyway, here we go. Next question. Which of these monsters was not a part of the original 1930 cycle? Dracula, the Blob, Mummy, or the Invisible Man? Hopefully this is all coming back to you guys. You guys are remembering these things. Also, just a reminder, we had a large conversation about all of your fears. So you all shared your fears. I wonder if now that several of you are in college or you're working or you're doing some other things, I wonder if your fears have changed. Right? Like our fears do change as we get older. And we talked about how a lot of our fears in class don't really match up with society's fears. So I'm just wondering if any of your fears have changed. The Blob, correct. Good. That was not part of the cycle. The Invisible Man, Dracula, Mummy, all still owned by Universal. Hotel Transylvania, Part 3. Colby, yes, your fears have changed. Feel free to type anything in the messages because I'll read it. I'm not playing, so I can, just talk while you guys do this. Carter's in the lead. That's nothing to be ashamed of. I don't know who the devil is, but good job. All right, here we go. Question 3. What movie and cycle came about because of the Red Scare and the start of the Cold War? Was it the imposition of the chair stackers, the invasion of the potty snatchers, the inquisition of the Margaret Thatchers, or Canada? This one's obvious because I'm terrible at writing multiple choice questions. So I actually recently just watched this movie and it's terrifying. It's still terrifying. It's not just terrifying in the 50s. It's always terrifying. Hi, Baby Yoda. Who is Baby Yoda? It might be Canada. So make sure you answer if you've played. Again, all of the questions are longer because of the delay. What I don't want is for you to only be able to see the question for like 5 seconds and then the question's over. So, correct. Invasion of someone put Canada. Who put Canada? Brendan, did you put Canada? All right, let's see who's in the lead. All right, Carter, still in the lead. All right, here we go. Question 4. Psycho belongs to which horror cycle? One of my personal favorites. Is it invasion, occult, sex, gore, and psychology, or Bush, Gore, and Clinton? Oh, man. I forgot how cheesy these answers were. So if you'll remember Psycho, we start with the main character who is in a sexually promiscuous relationship, and she's our main character, and then Alfred Hitchcock changes everything by killing her off halfway through. It was LeBou put Canada. And so that was a big deal, a huge deal. Sex, gore, psychology, correct. And of course the gore was the shower scene, which was actually all three at the same time because we're stabbing someone while we're also while she's naked, and also the idea that she is washing herself clean of her sins, blah 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 blah. I'm sure some of you, Sarah takes the lead, don't really care about some of this stuff, but maybe you do. All right. Which cycle was a result of men being away for World War II? They're away. Is it the slasher Halloween, self-awareness Scream, monsters Dracula, or low-budget cat people? So all the men went away for World War II, so you have to think about when that was. Scream probably didn't come out in the 40s. Dracula, we weren't scared of Dracula after we went to war because, it's the war. Hey, Emily. Hey, Bailey. So you just have to ask yourself which you think it is. Again, so Ellie said it's weird taking this during March and not during October. It's because for some of you, we had year-long classes. So the way I scheduled the class, we did the fear stuff and horror during... some people did not remember this one. And that's okay. We did the fear thing during Halloween, right? But because now we're on semesters, we can't do that anymore. Which cycle was a response to the free love and sin of 60s children? Remember, this is a response to it. So was it the occult, the omen, self-awareness, Scream, Monsters, Dracula, or found footage, Unfriended? So in the 60s, of course, everybody, not everybody, everybody was rebelling. There was lots of crazy stuff happening in the 60s, and in the 70s we were shutting that down. We were afraid of the sin in our lives, so we have this cycle which terrifies us because it's paranormal. It deals with evil things. But the semesters, Brendan, to answer your question here, semester long classes are still the full time in the class. It's just not every other day, it's every day. So it's the same amount of time. It's just not throughout the year. So when we did year-long classes, we had horror in October, we had the Oscar stuff in February, and now it's rearranged a little bit. But I think that it's a little bit more effective in the semesters. Occult, good. All right, let's see who's in the lead. Sarah's still in the lead. Oh, Bobby's making a climb. Hey, Bobby. All right, so here we go. Which slasher cycle film was the first to bring the horror to the neighborhood? Now, not the first slasher film, but the first one to bring horror in the neighborhood in 1978, which is kind of the whole point of this cycle. The scary stuff's coming to you, right? It's in your neighborhood. Was it Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Friday the 13th? Let me know if the music's too loud and you guys can't hear me, or let me know if the music's not loud enough because I won't shut up. So, the video should be a hint here, but we were afraid because this was teenage people in our neighborhoods that we had, in this particular film, we had the point of view of the killer. So like the video, John Carpenter would follow the eyes of the killer. And the killer was, of course, Michael Myers from this movie. And some of you are going to think that it's one film because it did start it, but that one didn't bring the horror to the neighborhood. So I'm anxious to see what you guys put. Also, the lag and the points, I'm not sure how to deal with that. So it was Halloween. So Nightmare on Elm Street comes a little bit later, although it does deal with teenagers in the neighborhood. All right. Oh, Matt and Gracie making an appearance in the top 5. And Sarah still holding on strong. Is anybody going to be able to catch Sarah? Which slasher cycle film was about the negligence of camp counselors and revenge? What an awesome idea for a slasher film. The negligence of camp counselors. So if you remember this person that you see on the screen, when he was a camp counselor, his counselors, when he was in camper, his camp counselors weren't paying attention to him because they were off doing unspeakable promiscuous activities, and he drowned. And because he drowned, someone came back and killed him. Killed the counselors. Now he was not the killer until the second film. And the hockey mask doesn't come out until the third film. But it was his mom that did everybody. And I know that's a spoiler alert, but the film did come out 40 years ago. So I don't really know how to justify this. You don't watch horror at all, Colby? Or just like some of these specific ones? The code is 8. It should be at the very bottom of the screen. It says Kahoot pin code, but I will copy it here. Do I have any quarantine watch list recommendations? Yes, I do, Taylor, actually. And I'll tell you all about those. I'll answer all these questions after the Kahoot, or maybe as I go because there's time. But Taylor asked, do I have any quarantine watch list recommendations and what's my favorite horror film? Thank you, Renaya. So my favorite horror film of all time, I don't know. It changes so often. Right now, it's the movie Hereditary. There is a bird right outside my door that will not shut up. Okay, it flew away. It heard me talking about it. It's a film called It Follows that we talked about in class last year. Not It Follows, Hereditary. It Follows is good. But Hereditary is this weird, cool, slow, painful horror film with great, amazing acting and some great visuals. And it actually got me. It came out last summer. And it's amazing. I'll see if I can find a link to the trailer, but Hereditary is probably my current favorite horror film. Not of all time, but currently. Quarantine watch list films. First, let me read this question. Oh, time's almost up. This is clearly Nightmare on Elm Street with one of the best death scenes of Johnny Depp with the blood spewing out of the bed. Meg taking a first place. Not bad. Taylor behind in second. Peyton, Sarah, Matt, and Gracie. So there's 6 people in the top 5. All right, which slasher film doesn't fit the cycle but is worth mentioning? So like I said, this one doesn't fit the cycle because it's really early. It's 1974. And slashers are mostly in the 80s. And it also doesn't really fit the cycle because the college kids end up at his house and then he starts to torment him with, of course, his chainsaw. So, I mean, it doesn't really fit the cycle. Let's see, quarantine films. So any series is good since you're going to be locked down. So, you know me and, me, Ellie, Taylor, Joy, a lot of us, Brendan, Alex, we all talk about, the Avengers, all of those films. There's, 22 of them. So that's a really, really good way to watch. And a lot of them are on Disney Plus. So you can just go watch those. So that's a good way to kind of get through this quarantine. I miss you too, Brendan. I miss everybody. When I say I love you and I miss you, I really mean it. Which is why this is making me so happy. A lot of you are doing awesome. Meg's still in first place. Next question. So also any other franchises? I'm currently trying to reread all of the all of the Harry Potter films, which is not a cycle from the 2000s. So currently, found footage, zombies, torture porn, or loss of Wi-Fi. I hope you all still have your composition books that have the words, sex, gore, and torture porn, and different things were used for pornography. I hope you still have those so that people can question what your teacher was up to because he's crazy. So again, I'm reading all the Harry Potter books, so I'll probably rewatch all of those movies. Other good films to watch. Now is a good time to spend some time on some art films that you might not really love. I'll go through Netflix and I'll kind of send out stuff. And if you guys are okay with it, I'll keep sending you guys reminds, even graduates. I'll send you reminds and you guys can participate in all of these. Because I think it's really important that we stay connected as a whole. It gives me energy. It actually helps me teach you guys. Oh no. You okay, babe? She dropped some forks. Need help? Rebecca, you want to say hi to everybody? She says hi, but she doesn't want to say hi. Anyway, let's see. Meg's still in first place. Question number 12. What found footage film used the internet and unknown actors to create realism? Again, it used the internet and unknown actors. Unfriended, Blair Witch Project, Paranormal Activity, or ISS, A Love Story. That's In School Suspension, A Love Story. So this was genius. Again, MTV was all about this. The internet was new. They created a website. So there you go. You can watch this movie, but it's so shaky that you might throw up. If you don't remember, I told a story in class whenever I saw this movie in the movie theater, and there were people throwing up because we weren't used to the shaky cam. And then also there was a movie theater that had woods right outside of it, and people would leave and they didn't want to walk to their cars because the woods were right there and they were so afraid of the woods. I don't know. If you guys have any ideas on how to make this better, clearly the 60 seconds is enough time. It doesn't give me a way to a perfect amount of time would be 45 seconds, but it doesn't give me a way to do that. It only lets me do in increments of 30, and 30 seconds just isn't enough time. Blair Witch Project is correct. All right, some more shuffling at the top. Meg's still winning. What found footage film relies on a computer desktop to tell the story? So this is one that I recommend since a lot of us are doing school this way. I mean, we're technically doing things exactly like this right now, which is scary in itself. This movie's kind of good. I wish that it was worse. I rewatched it, and it's not bad. For what it is, it's pretty good. It's kind of scary. The acting's kind of good. The premise is kind of good. The ending sucks. But most horror film endings suck. I mean, the Psycho ending is just him sitting in a thing saying, I'm not even going to harm that fly. And then a truck or a car being pulled out of the pond. So, It Follows doesn't have a great ending. Hereditary has an amazing ending. I'm telling you, if you haven't seen Hereditary, go watch Hereditary right now. But again, if you have any ideas on how to make this better or other ways that we can do this, I'm open to all of that. Unfriended is the film. I think a lot of you have actually seen this, and I gave this out as poster awards a couple of times. All right. Look at Bobby hanging on. Meg's still in the lead. Which found footage film focuses on the possession and haunting of a young family? Young family is not really true. It's more like a young couple. But anyway, Paratroopers over Africa. It's just the Ice Maker, Rebecca, Paranormal Activity, or Cat People.
Didn't you write this test?
I did write this test. Rebecca, you are one of the answers here. It's just the Ice Maker.
Why don't you change the question if it's not really a young family?
Rebecca is making fun of me because I have the ability to edit the question, and I chose not to. But I can make fun of Rebecca because after we watched this film, she couldn't sleep because of the Ice Maker. So I just actually, we didn't watch this in class, but I just had my online film class watch this yesterday and kind of discuss this. So let's see what I mean, it's pretty obvious what it is. It's definitely not, it's just the Ice Maker, Rebecca. So Chris says he's watching Paranormal Activity right now. So watch the film if you haven't. Film class currently. Watch it now so that you can get online and do your discussion posts today. Do your discussion posts today. I'm in there reading those and I'm commenting on them as well. All right, let's see. Next question. How do we know the zombie cycle is over? It's over. People think it's not. People keep watching Walking Dead. People want it to still be going, but it's not. Zombies aren't scary. Although this whole virus thing is kind of reactivating this massive quarantine style horror. So you're not going to get zombie movies out of this cycle, but check back in 10, 12 months, you're going to be getting movies more like Contagion, which came out in 2011 with Jude Law, which is actually on Netflix. And if you watch that movie, it's kind of scary. So answer this question. But Contagion's a good one. There are a lot of biohazard movies. A lot of biohazard movies. Yes, Chris, the movie moves kind of slowly. You're correct. All right. Zombieland. It parodies the subgenre. Zombieland, I think, is also on Netflix. If it's not, you need to watch it. It's hilarious. Zombieland 2 is okay. All right, let's see. Meg's still in the lead. Question 16, almost done. What film makes the 2000s cycle torture porn popular? And they're still making these movies. This was never scary to me. It was just gross. But at the same time, for the first 4 films, I watched all of them in movie theaters. In college, this was such a big... it was just such a big film. The options are Seesaw, or Sally Saw a Seesaw by the Seashore. I mean, all of them I saw in movie theaters. One of them with my dad. It was disgusting. But people loved it. I remember it was Halloween and we saw the third one. And it was probably midnight. And it was packed. And it was disgusting. And it wasn't good. But me and my friend Drew, we just had to see it. He's like, I'm driving to see Saw right now. And I'm like, sweet. And I got in the car and then we watched Saw. Mark Wahlberg is one. It's pretty good, but I forget what it's called. He's in a Saw. Mark Wahlberg's in Saw? Oh, maybe a more recent one. I have stopped watching them. Is Saw on Netflix? I'm sure something's on Netflix. Jigsaw, Saw, This Is Saw, Sardines, Salt Lake City. I don't know. All right. Which current cycle film is about our past demons chasing after us? Guys, watch this movie. Go watch this movie. As a reminder to those, and also we didn't talk about this. It wasn't around like first year. But this film is about there's a thing that's following you, and it's going to keep following you. It's trying to kill you. It walks very slowly. No one else can see it, but it's going to try to kill you until the only way to get rid of it is if you have sex with somebody. If you have sex with someone, then it will follow that person. But then once it catches that person and then kills them, it will start following you again. So the thing to do is to have sex with someone, so it's following them, and then to tell them about it so that they go have sex with someone else, and hopefully the thing will spread. It's the exact opposite of what you should be doing right now because of the coronavirus. You should actually be all staying away from each other, which I know that's difficult for teenagers to do. The correct answer is it follows. Good. All right. Oh, Sarah takes the lead. Sorry, Meg. We have not talked about that in class yet. Oh, my bad. Which current cycle film is about a shapeshifter who feeds off the fear of children? So you guys know how I feel about this film. The first one was great, and the one that came out last semester was okay. It was kind of a letdown because the book's so good, even though the book is messed up. That's a good book to read on quarantine because you have time. Read it. It's about 1 million pages, and I think the last time I read the book, it took me 4 weeks of just reading it. And sometimes I couldn't even read it. So I had the audio book, so I would read some, and then I would listen to some in the car because I just didn't have time. But now I have time. Maybe I'll reread it. Probably not, because it's weird. I'm not going to tell you the ending in case you do read the book, but you can message me on Remind, and I'll give you more specifics. I'm going to keep the Remind threads open now. I've brought them back. In case any of you guys want to contact me over the quarantine. I'd love to talk current movies. We may even just have a live stream session to talk movies. Every day at 1:30, I'm probably going to have a live streaming session for all of my students to join in just to ask questions. And if they don't ask questions, then I'll probably just talk for 30 minutes, which you guys know I'm perfectly capable of doing. Which current cycle film depicts a family fighting doppelgangers and explores the duality of man? This is another good movie to watch while you're in quarantine, and it's great. So I hate to say this, but a movie, so this came out in February of this year and is awesome, but there is a movie that's better than it that basically has the same themes, and it's called Parasite. You need to see Parasite. That's another good movie to watch. Bryce, the Kahoot code is here. There's only 2 more questions, but you can go ahead and jump in and still play. This is a test. We'll do this every week after the lessons. Again, you need to see this movie. I'm very curious how everybody's doing with this quiz. No, Parasite's not a horror film, although he does play with genre. One of the best parts about Parasite is the fact that it's a comedy, and it's like a thriller, and it's like a family drama and a horror film. It's 4 different films in one, and he so smoothly transitions from the genre that it's great. We actually watched this in class this year. We watched Parasite because it won Best Picture, and it was so amazing. And the response from the students were awesome. It's a foreign film. It's in total Korean, so be prepared for that. But it's also worth watching twice, and it's so good. It's so good. I'm going to convince Rebecca to watch it over the break. All right. Let's see. Sarah's still in the lead with 1 more question. Matt and Gracie, you could still do it. Meg, you could still do it. Ryan, you're doing great. Michael, you're doing great. Everyone else, try. Sarah, you have to get this one wrong. True or false? The culture defines fear, which in turn dictates the cycle of horror. This is obvious, guys. We can't be scared of something unless we're scared of it. Now, that's a dumb way to say whatever's happening in the real world is what entertains us at a safe distance. I think it was Ryan in class. You were the one who mentioned that we're entertained by horror because we can deal with our fears from a distance, and it's safe. That's what movies do. That's what horror films do. They give us safety. We can also deal with our emotions and dramas and something else. So I'm sorry, Renee, if there's a lag. I'm going to do a full diagnostic of this and ask you guys how this went. And I'm going to see and test if we can make this better. But so after we're done, I'm going to ask like 2 or 3 questions. And if you guys could just give me comments and answers, that will really help me out. So you got 7 more seconds. What is it? Is it true or is it false? Sorry, is it false or is it true? That the culture defines the fear, which in turn dictates the cycle of horror. Of course it's true, guys. The culture defines the fear. So what we're afraid of in the real life is what's going to dictate what we're afraid of on the screen. And we get to watch it and it's fun. Oh no, Kate pressed the wrong one. I'm sorry. All right, so here it is. These are the winners for our first ever online Kahoot. Meg Henderson, 3rd place. Great job, Meg. Ryan, 2nd place, getting 18 right. And Sarah. Which Sarah is this? I'm guessing this is Sarah Warmond. I like the music. Here's the party music. I like how the names dance and the confetti just join us. So Bobby doing great is in 4th place. And I think it said that Grace and Matt, you guys were. So I'm going to get feedback. If you guys could actually comment, like you don't have to comment, but like post if this was good. So like give thumbs up, give ratings. If you thought that this didn't work or it wasn't great, then recommend that too. And I'm going to stay on just for a second. So I'm going to leave that, but I'm going to make that a little bit smaller and I'm going to make my face a little bit bigger because, why not? And so guys, my main question is this. So tell me what worked about this and what doesn't work about this. If you think that this is perfectly functional as is, then I think we're good. Labu only got 10 right. It's okay. The last 3 questions we hadn't talked about in class yet, Labu, so don't feel bad about that. So comment away, guys. And if you got to leave, first of all, then I love you guys and I'll miss you. And thanks for playing. This video will just be posted so people can rewatch the video. If you want to see all of these, consider subscribing to this account, which is just going to be for school. This is not any kind of weird anything else. Kate says it lagged a few times, but it could be your Wi-Fi. There's a bit of a lag, but overall it works well. That's good. I mean, it may be just this is the best we can do in our situation. I, of course, loved seeing all of you guys again and talking to all of you guys again. Okay, just a little bit of lag, but that's good. And again, if you don't want to play Kahoot, but you just want to ask questions or talk, I'm going to be on here starting next week every day or every other day at 1:30. And I'll send out the link to that. But I'm going to be live and I'm going to go 30 minutes. And it can be school-related questions. It can be life-related questions. It can be just talking and having a good time. But you guys can comment and I'll answer the questions. And I think that format will work really, really well. Are there any other things you guys want to say, or are there any questions? My biggest thing is this was really special to me. It was really nice to see a lot of you again. I love you very much. I hope that everyone is staying safe. I hope that you guys are, Parasite made me scared for the most of the movie. Yeah, that's what I mean. It plays with genre. It's like freaky. Yes, Sarah, you get a movie poster. Works well other than a couple of seconds of lag, but that comes with streaming. I agree, Ellie. Again, you guys can text me on Remind, or you can find me on social media and contact me that way. Instagram's Alex Jensen Ford. If you've already graduated, I'll follow you back. Same thing with Twitter, Alex Jensen Ford. Snapchat's Yellow TV. And then email address is ford_alex@hcde.org. And the Remind is you're already on the Remind, or else you probably wouldn't be here. So I love you guys. I hope that you had an awesome time playing. I had an awesome time. I think that this is going to work. I think that, I don't know. I think that everybody's going through this right now. This is just the time for us to stay connected, to keep our spirits high, and to just help each other out. So if there's a way that you can help someone, or if you need help, ask for it. And I love you guys. I'll miss you. I'm going to sign off for now. And we'll see you maybe tomorrow at 1:30. Bye.